Hi, welcome back. I'm gonna vlog today. I've got some things to do and some updates to show you guys. And I also have some upcoming things to show you guys. So yeah, today's like one of those days where I just have like a bunch of little shit to do that I've been meaning to get done and just haven't. So yeah. And I'm going to look at a donkey later. So I'll take you guys for that too. To do some fence stuff, I need to burn some piles. I'm going to take you guys out in the pasture too and kind of show you some stuff out there. And now I just forgot all the other shit. Yeah, I want to do some organizing in here. We'll see what all I get done. I also want to work on this dresser I've been working on. But yeah, welcome back. I am gathering some trash right now so I can go burn up another pile of trees and stuff. So welcome to the vlog. We'll see what today brings. But my client horses go home in a couple days. Gypsy and Harley. They've been here for a little over 60 days. They did an extra week. But I think they're good. I think they're gonna be good when they go home. Their owner's actually coming tonight for a lesson with them. And so I got her on them last week and she rode them around and they were both super good for her. So yeah, I am excited to see them go home and for them to enjoy their horses and to free up some space as well. So yeah, let's go ahead. Let's get this party started for the day. Okay, I've got this little pile started. And then I'm gonna take these two tubs out and empty them. They've obviously filled up with rainwater. But I'm gonna empty these because this is all like crap that I've just found out here in the horses' pasture from, over the years. If you guys don't know, if you're new here, I moved onto this property with my boyfriend, and this property like used to be a homestead a long time ago, and then it pretty much just got like abandoned, and so it's just been sitting empty. But like they had fence lines and all kinds of stuff going out here that just were never taken out. So like all these little pieces of fence, there's a bunch of pieces of glass and stuff from decades ago just in the ground. So like I usually pick up several pieces of junk when I'm out here and I throw it in these bins so that when they get full, I can dump them in a dumpster, or, if I take it to town and just dump it in my parents' trash or whatever, because obviously we can't burn it because it's all metal and glass. But yeah, I'm going to empty those and pick up some more. Oh gosh, I should probably cut this up too. I did see the goats have been climbing up this tree and pulled this down somehow. So I'm probably going to cut that up later. But like there's a lot more like glass and stuff coming up out of the ground lately, like this. It just like comes out of the ground like as it rains and as the horses kick the dirt around and stuff. So I need to just come out and pick up a bunch of it. And then I might let Sugar and Luna out here for a while. As you can see, it probably looks like a total mess on camera still, but I've gotten a lot of this cleaned up. So like these big logs obviously are gonna take a while to burn down. But I've just been burning a lot of the piles. The goats have taken care of so much weeds out here. I need to try to find some clips from last year so you guys can understand what a jungle this was. Like I could not walk through here at all like this, but like this side is pretty clear. I have still some piles and some logs that need cut up, but otherwise the horses can roam around out here. They can graze a little bit. This short stuff the goats decided they didn't like, so there's some grass growing in between, but it's small enough that like I can't just leave the horses out here full time because they will eat it completely down and kill any of the grass. But I do let them out here for like a few days at a time, and then I'll pen them back up for like a week. especially depending on how much it's raining. Sometimes I'll pen them up for like 2 weeks if it's been raining and just let the grass grow out here, and then I'll let them back out to graze it down. But yeah, I mean, it's coming along slowly but surely. This timber was such a mess that it's just been a long process to get it under control, but we're finally getting there. It's finally becoming like a usable space. And like I said, these big logs and big trees like are gonna take a while to like burn down and cut up and stuff, but yeah, it's getting there finally. And actually fenced in another section of pasture that I'll show you guys. The goats are actually over there right now, but the fence line over here next to Harley and Gypsy, I basically put in a dry lot or a pasture right behind their dry lot. So this over here is Harley and Gypsy's dry lot, and I put a fence line from that corner straight back. So there's another pasture behind all of this. Obviously you can't tell because it's a giant mess, but the goats are out there. So I shoved them out there yesterday, so they're gonna work on munching this down and cleaning it up. You can see they're just like shoved in this little corner by the fence line because they're like, where do we walk? Yeah, it's a mess out there. I like beat down a path to walk the fence line and just put the fence line in, but other than that, it's just a complete mess out there. And there's a lot of crap out there as well that needs to be brought out. You can see the bed frame here from an old mattress or box spring or something. This has been here a long time. I just set it up against that tree there. But then like this log on the ground, if you bend down a little and you look real close, can't really tell on camera, but there's a bunch of like glass and metal back there that I can see. Hey Lucky, what are you doing? You getting things cleaned up out there? This is a nice goat. He's my buddy. That goat's a jerk. Look at you. You've been really working, haven't you? But yeah, so these guys are working on this, and then once it's kind of cleaned up enough, I'll let the horses out there and get some of that, when I get some of that crap out of the ground. But yeah, so it's gonna be connected to this dry lot once I put a gate in, and then these guys go home in a few days, so I'm gonna put Ethel and Stella out here so that they can have a big bale, and then obviously they'll have access to this when we get there. But yeah, goats are working away, and so far they're happy. They've only been out here like a day, but they started to get out when I had them out here like the last week or so. Murphy kept getting out pretty much every night, so I'd lock him up. Lucky would stay in, but then he got bored and got out. I've noticed that these goats are really good about staying in and cleaning up the weeds as long as there's enough to keep them busy. And like they've pretty much ate down everything they wanted out here, and then they get bored and they start to get out. So like right now, you know, they're staying in the hot wire because they've got plenty to do out there. There's plenty to munch on and keep them satisfied. But once they get bored with it, they'll probably start to get out again. But they don't go anywhere, luckily. Now you guys are gonna argue. When they do get out, they usually don't go anywhere. I usually just find them in the yard or something, so it's not like that big of a deal, but it is still annoying. So yeah, I'm gonna work a little on this, getting this pile burnt, and then picking up some garbage out here. Okay, worked on my dresser a little bit, and I'm gonna go down and check the fire. It just started sprinkling, and there's not been any rain in the forecast, so I like ran to cover up my, I don't know, my big hay bale over there so it don't get rained on. I just bought a load of hay, of these big square bales for everybody, and they've been kind of coughing a bit. So I don't know, the hay guy that I've been buying from this year is really, really nice and really flexible. And he told me, obviously, let him know how they're eating it, if they're eating it well. And they're starting to eat it pretty slow. I mean, like, Sugar and Luna have had this bale, has it been over a week? Around a week. And they've, like, barely made a dent in theirs. The group of 4 up there has dug into theirs pretty good, but they're coughing. Sugar's coughing, so I don't know. It doesn't look like bad hay. Like, it looks fine, but it might just be real dusty, which is kind of annoying. But yeah, so anyway, this pile is burning down pretty good, but I'm probably just gonna stoke this a little, and then I'm gonna go check out that donkey. So I know a donkey guy that has a whole bunch of freaking donkeys, and he is thinking about sending one for training for a refresher, which I've never had a donkey before. So I honestly don't know anything about them, but you know, I'm willing to ride one. If he needs it rode, I'll ride it. But yeah, so I'm gonna do that here in a few minutes. Hi guys, it's the next day. I went and saw the donkey yesterday, and it sounds like he's gonna be coming for training, so that'll be interesting. But I didn't want to film like on that guy's, you know, private property and stuff. So and then we had our lesson with Harley and Gypsy's owners, so they go home tomorrow. But today, right now, I'm gonna start a little project that I've been meaning to do for a while, which is digging a channel under this gate hole. So this is the gate for Sugar and Luna's pen, so they can go out into the timber. And I've been meaning to dig a channel under this gate to run the electric, because at some point eventually I'll make this wire hot, and then it needs to jump across to the rest of the fence over there. And they make like special like poly coated wire that you can buy at like the feed store to just like stick a wire under the ground, but it's kind of expensive. So what I do is I just take my little shovel and I dig a little channel just a couple inches deep, and then I've got like some plastic tubing that I'm gonna put under there, and then I can just feed the wire through it. So I'm gonna start doing this and see if I can get some of it done today. Okay, here's my channel, and then I'm gonna go all the way back there to get my 1-inch tubing that I'm gonna just lay in there and then cover it all back up. All right, got my plastic tube, just like a little 1-inch plastic tube. So I fed that through, and now I'm just going to push all this dirt back over and cover it up. The ground is really hard because we haven't had a lot of rain lately, so it's kind of hard to dig out, but I think it'll be fine if I just push all this back over. All right, so I just drug these guys out of the weeds back there because I knew they were back there, but they've been back there a while, so I couldn't move them. But I've had these power poles, or they're like half-length power poles, sitting back there for a while. And it turns out they're gonna be long enough to build Sugar and Luna's lean-to. So I forgot to show you guys this the other day, but my dad brought all this wood by because I have been, you know, buying up materials and stuff to build these girls a shed over in that corner. So my dad brought by all this wood. He had all this wood just laying around at home that he wasn't going to use, so he brought it. And I was going to go to Menards and buy 5 6x6s because I haven't been able to find any power poles. And so for the heck of it, I pulled those ones out over there because I was like, well, I'll just measure them and see what they are. And they're 14 feet, which is what I was going to have to buy. So they're 14 feet, and I was going to need 3 12-footers and 2 14-footers. So those are going to work good. And yeah. I took a little break and went to town to eat lunch with Thomas. But now I'm back, so I'm going to finish up this, what am I calling it? The thing under the gate. The tube thing under the gate. So I got the tube all covered back up, and now I'm gonna take my wire and basically, it's nice to have new wire that's not all like kinked up like this, like it's obviously been used and stuff, but just because it doesn't get caught on things. But I'm gonna put it through here and basically just feed it through to the other side. Okay, I got it all the way through to the other side and tied it to the hot wire up there. So I'm just gonna cut this off. So it's got enough to tie into this one. So I got it, comes from the tube and connects to the wire. This one's obviously not hot right now because it's not insulated, but then you can see I got it all buried. And then it comes up right here and ties into this right here. So, like I said, they make some types of wire that like are just a literal wire like this, but it's got this like plastic coating on it, and you can just bury that right into the ground. But we sold it at the feed store I used to work at, and it was really fucking expensive, so that's why I don't buy it. And we've had this 1-inch plastic tubing laying around for like 4 years and have no use for it, so I've just been using it up for this, but it works. And I did it with the gate out back where MTHorses are now, and it has worked really good out there. So Chancer, you can lay down, take me up. Look at him. Are you taking a nap? Are you sleeping? Dork. I don't even know if I told you guys this yet in the vlog, but some of my boarders did move. So we're down 3 horses on the property, which is totally fine with me. I'm not going to talk about it really a whole lot, but I am just to the point that I am really only open to boarding to people that I really know and like. And it's not always fun. So I know I don't talk really a lot about the boarders here on my channel because obviously they deserve privacy too. And it's just not something to like share online or bring your business practices necessarily online. But the folks that had the 3 paints here, the 2 black ones and the little paint filly, move their horses, and I'm fine with it. I'm actually really, really fine with it. So my only boarder now is Melanie, and she has Cash and April here. So if you guys have any questions about like what it's like to have boarders or like boarding in general, I've worked at many boarding facilities and currently still work at a boarding facility, and then I've had my own boarders here. So if you guys have any questions about that or want me to talk about it on here on my podcast at all, let me know. But it is really, really hard to board for people. And I like never understood when I was younger, like, cause I just didn't have, you know, any amenities. Like my horses were at home, but like my dad would not build me an arena or a romp pen or like, so I had no amenities, and I was always so jealous of the people that had them, and was like, why don't people like want to share their stuff with others that don't get to have that stuff? And if I ever have a place where I have all the amenities, like I want to share it with people. And now that I'm older, I'm like, I get why people don't want to. I get it. Like you have to share your property with other people all the time. And like if any of you guys have ever lived with roommates, it's like kind of similar to that, or like you get similar feelings to that, where like people put their stuff random places and you're like, I didn't want this here, or why is this here, or where did this come from? Or people leave their stuff everywhere and you're like, why is this shit everywhere? Or you know, they come at certain times when you don't want them to, and you're like, seriously. So it's a lot of inconveniences and a lot of compromising. And so I get now that I'm older, like why people just don't want to compromise and don't want to be inconvenienced in their own homes or in their own spaces. But we had those boarders here over the winter, like at the beginning of the year, like in January. Those two horses, Darby and Ellie, and those folks were really nice. I didn't really have any issue with them. They were pretty nice. But when they left, they gave me like day of notice that they were leaving. And so that was kind of frustrating. Like as a barn owner, you always want like some, as a landlord, I guess in general, even for like if you're renting a house or a storage unit or anything, like your landlords want notice. So like they know that for the next month their income's going to be different, or they can open it up to somebody else. And so like, you know, people will leave and not give you any notice, or they just don't respect your things. And you know, I stopped telling people like, treat this place like it's your own, because I actually would hate to see how some people treat their own things and like live in their own spaces, because it's not at all how I would want to live in my own space or treat my own things. So yeah, Mel's my only boarder now, and that's fine. I may open it up in the future a little bit. We'll see what happens. I don't know. I need to get the shelters built like for Sugar and Luna, and then Mel's horses are back there where the other boarded horses were now. And so I need to get a shelter put up of some sort back there before winter. And I don't know if that's going to be a permanent structure, or if it's going to be like the carport shelters that I've done the last couple years. But we'll just see what I can afford and what happens. But yeah, once things are a little bit cleaner, I've got a lot of projects going right now. The goats are eating down another pasture. You know, that lot back there where Cash and April are has some cleanup that needs to be done. There's just a lot of weeds and a lot of brush and stuff back there. So once things are cleaned up a little bit nicer, I get a few less horses. Hopefully I could sell Hazel. And, you know, maybe then we'll open up to some more boarders. But for now, I'm like wanting to see some go home. Obviously the training horses go home tomorrow. I have the donkey coming for training. Oh gosh, there's the door. It's like this winter, I think we're going to be in pretty good shape. But we'll see how it goes. So, all right, getting probably our last ride in together. Now, I ain't eating that tree. Miss Gypsy. Harley's banging on the fence over there. Keep walking. Good girl. And it just started to barely sprinkle on us, but I think it's gonna be fine. We could kind of use some rain anyways. And this is good practice for her with me talking to the camera, because sometimes she gets a little like, she just hears me talk and thinks she needs to stop moving. So this is good. Probably my last ride on Lazy Ass here. His owner rode him yesterday and he was so lazy. He was testing every limit of hers. So it's something they'll have to work on when he gets home. But, you know, the good thing with him is that I would rather him be lazy than, you know, an overachiever, someone that's got too much energy. So his problem is making him go, making him do the work, and not letting him play little games so he can get out of it, and just cracking down on him. So it's not the worst habit, but, you know, for their owners that are beginners, it's just something they need to learn. You know, don't feel like you're being mean to him. He needs to get his ass in gear once in a while and get moving. So yeah, he does good for me, but I could tell he was really testing her yesterday, just kind of stopping and not moving. And, you know, I had to show her the lead rope, use that loose end of the lead rope and start swinging at him if he's gonna play little games. Like, I'm not gonna move, because he knows how. But, well, that's Harley. This lazy old boy. I don't think he's gonna buck for anybody, because it'd be too much effort. Whoa. Good boy. Back, 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 back. Good job. Good boy. You know. Good job. See that, guys? Didn't even have to use my hands. See if I'll do it again. Back, 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 back. Good job. Good boy. All right. Oh, lazy ass. That's what you are. What do you think? You gonna miss me? Probably like, hell no. Go back home to your mom. Oh, Miss Shug's just getting her dinner. Everybody's gotten their grain. But I'm doing chores a little bit earlier today. It's about 4:30. I usually do them at 5 or 5:30, but we are going out tonight, so Thomas wants to go to the casino, so I'm doing chores a little bit earlier than normal. Yeah, Sugar gets a little bit of grain with her supplements, and then honestly, most of the horses are on grain now, except for Luna, and Freedom does not get any grain. But Stella has had a little bit of trouble with her weight the last couple months, and so I've put her on grain. And Chance has been struggling lately, so he's getting some grain too. And so the boys, like Chance and Rojo, were not getting grain most of the summer, but since Chance needs grain, I figured let's just give them both grain, so they're both getting it. But if Chance can put some weight back on, then those two really don't need to be on grain either. I don't really know what Chance's issue is, so when I take him to the vet to get gelded, I think I'm gonna have them just do a whole dental workup on him, because I'm almost wondering if he's got something going on with his teeth and he's just not chewing or eating right. So yeah, he had a bout of worms this spring. I don't know if I think I've told you guys this. He had worms this spring where he was literally pooping out big, huge worms. And so I treated him for that. And power packed him, gave him a double dose of dewormer for at least a week. It might even have been 2 weeks. But then I started him on an iron supplement, because that's what we did for him last year. That helped immensely, because the worms were causing him to be anemic. So put him on the iron supplement, but it doesn't really seem to be doing much this year. So I think I'm gonna call to schedule to get him gelded soon anyway. And when I take him in, I'm just gonna have him probably do some blood work on him, make sure his blood looks normal, and then open his mouth, see if he needs to just have his teeth worked on. So then hopefully he could come off grain and won't need to be on it. And, you know, because grain is not cheap. It's really not. And if the horses don't like need to be on it, like Rojo, I don't think, I mean, he doesn't need to be on it either. He's just getting it because everyone else is. I prefer kind of a simpler, more forage-based diet like that anyway. And then it obviously saves money. And grain is more of a treat for them when they don't get it all the time. So if I need to bribe them with something, I can use grain. But yeah. All right. Gypsy and Harley are off going home. They got it in the trailer pretty good. Not bad for it being a couple months. Hi guys, it's me editing this video, but I'm cutting it off here because it's now 30 minutes long and this is only about half the footage. So we're gonna cut it off here and make a separate video for the rest of it. So thanks guys so much for watching. Do all the comment, like, subscribe down below, and stay tuned for some new upcoming things now that Gypsy and Harley are home. I'm going to be getting the donkey in for training, and then I'm going to have a little more time to dedicate towards my own horses like Rojo and Freedom, and kind of getting some of my own horses going again. So stay tuned for those, and let me know if you have any questions and what you want to see. Bye.